see it on the back side back there. Also see these bushings. These right here. Where's it at? Right there. I don't mind that. I forgot to put a clip on the end down here, and water got up in this boot, so I have to drain that. That can really kill the life of these. So I'm going to make sure that's taken care of, but I'm going to get up underneath here and show you my fast redneck way of fixing these. Alright guys, up underneath this car. Now remember, this right here I forgot to put the clamp on. So water got up in here and it's in here. So I'm going to have to take these off, clean all that out, grease it up and make it look good. Now, the inner and outer tie rods are new. The ball joints are new. So I'm going through and I'm eliminating any front end play that I can possibly eliminate. Now, this, you can see how dirty this is up underneath there. It definitely needs a good degreasing. You can see where the water used to leak on my new hose, or my old hose. That's why I replaced it with that one. Various different things, but what we're concentrating on is these bushings right here. This is an 18 millimeter and it's pretty deep. I don't have one, so I'm just trying to hold the nut on this side with that. Now the 15, you got to go up underneath there pretty good. It's, see, where am I at? Right here. This tube, that's the bolt. It goes all the way through, and you got to access it from back side right here, and that's a 15 millimeter. So I got to have to go way down here and around and get on that 15 and break it loose and holding this 18. But once that gets out, I should be able to move this out of the way enough to get these bushings out. Alright guys, the old bushings are out, and wow, they are terrible. They are super soft. They was just ripping. This is like gum. I wish it was like chewing gum. It's just crazy. The other side, the passenger side, was so hard to get out, and the bushing literally just soft in spots, like jelly almost, and then just brittle, falling apart like bread in some spots. See? That's what it looks like with both of them out. The sleeve is right here. This thing goes all the way through here and the frame to line everything up. You notice it's tapered. I don't know how well you can see that. This side's smaller. The dark side, that's where you're going to put it through. The bushings go over these. So, these are really bad. I'm going to get them cleaned up with a wire brush. I'm going to get some spray all this down and clean it up. Now, I'll show you, I was telling you this is my redneck easy way. I didn't undo any of the steering. I didn't undo any of the lines. Look how much, I have so much room to move around with. Had a guy telling me how these are a pain. If you just undo these mounts, take them out, I can literally pull that down out of the way. I can lift it up out of the way. Same thing on that side. You might have to undo the steering right up in there to drop it down more if you need to. But as far as getting the bushings on, I have enough space behind it to just lay the bushing up behind it and push it in. Just like, see all that room? So I just slide the bushing in this way, push it in. But I want to get all this cleaned up first. This is, look at all that rust. So let me get all this cleaned up. Alright, got them cleaned up the best I could. These are the Moog bushings. Just so you know, these were $19. You can get urethane ones, and you can also get the urethanes that drop the steering rack down some to align your geometry better for better than 20 bucks for probably I think one of them was 15 for urethane and drop down. But I didn't want to wait for it to be ordered, and these are made in the USA, and I can show you the difference right here. I can just barely take and squeeze this. You see that right there? I can do that with this. I can't even budge the damn thing. I mean, it is just that solid. These are not gonna be just squishing around like that right there. Turn it to the side where I go. Nope, just ain't gonna do it. So I still gotta get the holes cleaned up in there. I don't have anything, so I'm just gonna use oven cleaner, which gets rid of grease and stuff, so it should knock it out. Got a green Scotch-Brite. I'm gonna get all up in there and clean up. And then I have, what to do with it? I got my grease gun around here somewhere, and I'm gonna put some marine grease on these and slide them in. Alright guys, just a reminder, the bolt goes into the back side. You can see right through this access hole where the sleeve and everything lines up. You put the bolt through. You might have to wiggle the rack up and down to get the bolt to slide through. You're going to put the head on it, but you're not going to tighten this down. You're going to go to the other side and make sure everything's lined up. You don't want to tighten it down and then not be able to move this arm enough to get everything lined up on that side. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Now, like I said, I got these out far enough. I could put the back bushings in, not an issue whatsoever. So let me get that in and get it tightened down, and then we'll go from there. Alright guys, I got the boots off, got the water in there draining. That side had quite a bit of water. I still need to get a zip tie or something to put on the end. I'm going to do that in just a few minutes. Got some rust up underneath there. I'm going to hit with a wire brush, paint up. But everything's done. I got the jack stand out from underneath the car. I'm fixing to drop the car after I get that painted up and get a little bit of stuff wiped down. And then next will be the test drive to see how it does. And I'm just going to start by giving it the wiggle test like I started out with the beginning of the video, where you could actually see the whole steering rack going with the car. So hopefully this fixes a lot of my issue, because there's only two things that have to be replaced from here on out that is not new, and that would be the steering rack itself, which is 22 years old, so it's a possibility, and my lower control arm bushings, which I want to do anyway. I do have new ball joints, but these bushings are not new, so I might bring it somewhere and have them replaced, or I might just get all new lower control arms that's got the bushings and everything in it. I know they have a kit for like 200 bucks, and I can just replace everything all in one and get it over with. So I need to decide on that. But let me get this cleaned up a little bit more. I'm not getting it sparkle tackle, but I will get it enough that they don't look absolutely disgusting, I hope. Alright guys, got it sprayed down a bit. I can't really get up in there with, look at all that. Can't really get up in there with a brush or anything, but it's got quite a bit cleaner. Got the zip ties on. Yes, they're white. I don't have any black zip ties. But now we're going to drop it. We're going to give it the wiggle test and see if that rack moves. If it does, I'm probably going to go get my gun and shoot this car. So we'll see how that goes. That rack is solid, no movement. The car's moving because that's moving, but I can see that rack. Only thing moving is me shaking because I'm holding it in one hand. So now I'm going to take it on a test drive and see how it does. Alright guys, the steering is way more responsive. Even a little bit of blip here and there, it goes where I tell it to go. I have a lot less play in the steering wheel. That's about it right there before it starts catching. Now I do think it might need another front end alignment, because if I put the wheel straight, I go to the left, which is kind of crazy because before, if I put the wheel straight, I went to the right. So we're going to hopefully get all this dialed in. Yes, my ABS light's on because I just took out the rear sensors when I did the rear end. I never replaced them. Don't really care to at this moment, race car. But So next is the lower control arm bushings, and hopefully I don't need a new steering rack, but if I do, that'll be every single thing that this car left from with the factory. It'll be brand new all over again. And when I say brand new, I mean literally less than a year old. That's tie rods, ball joints, everything. So hopefully whatever else I do fixes it 100%. Now I do have a used tire on this side because it eat away one side. But again, it is not nowhere near what it was before I could let go of the steering wheel, and I would already be across the road right now. So the fact that it's still tracking pretty good and it's going where the road slanted, it ain't pulling to one side or the other, it's just how the road is. Alright guys, got cleaned up a little, still got to clean up my tools. The test drive turned out amazing. I normally had probably that much shoulder to shoulder in play in the steering wheel. Now I've got maybe as wide as my face is play in the steering wheel. A lot more responsive. Like I said, it's not going to be 100% until I replace the lower control arm bushings. They are 22 years old. Hopefully I'm blocking this wind. It never wants to blow or anything until I'm out here doing something. It did start raining on me in the middle of doing this, so it was nice and cool, so that was nice. But the hardest part was getting them the bushing inserts out because they was stuck in. The passenger side was the bad one. Driver's side came right out really easy. Just grabbed it with vice grips and pulled and it came out. Now, please know that goes all the way through. I thought it was just a bushing like this and that one sleeve was built in. It's all one big sleeve. Also note that it is tapered. One end is smaller than the other. The bolt goes in this way where the threads stick out toward the front of the car. So hope all that helps with getting this out. I found to break it free for both sides, I didn't even need a wrench. The 15 millimeter on one side, I just put a 18 millimeter, actually I put a crescent wrench on the other side and just spun it and broke them free, and then I was able to walk it out. And the bolt itself on the ends where the threads are has a hexagon or octagon shape. Basically it looks like a small socket. I just put an adjustable on that to hold the bolt, so I just walked right out. I didn't even need a 15 millimeter on the other side until I was tightening it, and that was just to hold it. I put a 15 millimeter on the side, used the 18, I tightened it down. I'm sure there's torque specs to this, but because there's a metal insert, I just tightened it down until I couldn't tighten it anymore. It's not like you're going to crush the bushings because the sleeve. You would have to break the sleeve in order to crush the bushings, and that's not going to happen. Not with my weak butt. So I hope by showing you the beginning of this, where you can see it good enough where it was moving back and forth, and you realize how much play that is versus afterwards. That's hard to tell because with the car being on the ground and her steering it back and forth, the car does move. So I'm trying to show you the steering rack's not moving while the car itself is moving. Hopefully that came out clear. But if not, take my word, the steering rack was moving enough. I could probably get 3 fingers in that one side. It's kind of inappropriate, I guess. Anyway, there was plenty of play in there. Now, one of the reasons you might have to get another front end alignment after you do that, like me, I got a front end alignment with my inner and outer tie rods, and the reason you might have to do that is, say these bushings are bad and the steering rack's caught to one side a little bit, or the other side, they do the front end alignment. When you put the bushings in, it evens it up, and it's going to pull whatever side that it was off from back in. Look at this wind. Oh my god. So hopefully y'all ain't picking up crazy wind noise. Hopefully I'm not blabbing too much. I really hope this helps somebody, because I've been chasing these problems so long. So long. Ball joints, inner, outer tire rods, front end alignment, new tires that eat up that one tire. I went and got a used tire, and then I just happened to see that one time after doing some research. I got underneath there when the wife came home. I looked at it. Sure enough, that thing was moving. Looked like jello in there. Them bushings that I showed y'all, one was gummy, one was brittle. It just fell apart. There was all kind of rust in there. Got it all cleaned out. So I'm hoping that the next step, the lower control arm bushings, that front end is just going to be tight as can be. Hopefully I can find a good deal on lower control arms that have the spring mount with urethane bushings. If not, I do want to go urethane bushings in the lower control arms. So again, thank y'all for watching. Sorry for blabbing so much. I'm just trying to get as much information out there as I can. Thank you for watching.
I won't turn around, I done made it this far. Look back now, that wouldn't be too smart. Shoot for the stars even when it gets hard. Put my faith in the Lord with these 16 bars. I won't turn around, I done made it this far. Look back now, that wouldn't be too smart. Shoot for the stars even when it gets hard. Put my faith in the Lord with these 16 bars. I won't turn around, I won't